In just about a few seconds. Is it on? Okay. All right. Half a day, Zentiro, everyone. Thank you for joining us this morning. Today's Senate Gaming Committee meeting will be to discuss the administration's message number GOV 2025-420, dated October 25th, 2025, and also to receive comments from the public on any concerns, issues, and/or sentiments they may have about the governor's proposal to the legislature to revive the casino industry by introducing an amendment to Public Law 18-56 to remove the exclusive license and offer multiple licenses to encourage healthy competition within the industry. At this time, I would like to inform the public that this committee meeting is being streamed live on the legislature's Facebook page and YouTube channel. I would also like to ask everyone before we begin to please silence your electronic devices to minimize any disruptions. I am Senator Karina L. Magovna from the 3rd Senatorial District, chairperson of the Senate Standing Committee on Gaming. I now call this meeting to order. Today is December 11, 2025, Wednesday. It is approximately 10:06 a.m. here at the Commonwealth Legislature, Capitol Hill, Saipan. Council, or LA, my apologies. LA, please call the roll.
Senator Ronnie M. Calvo.
For the record, Senator Calvo is on the phone with us.
Senator Francisco Q. Cruz. Senator Jude U. Hofschneider. Senator Karina L. Magovna.
Present.
Senator Donald M. Manglonia. Senator Paul A. Manglonia.
Here.
Senator Francisco Q. Cruz.
Here.
Madam Chair, there are 4 members present and 2 members absent.
Thank you, Devin. With 4 members present, we meet the necessary quorum to conduct today's meeting. Let the record reflect that Senators Donald Manglonia and Jude Hofschneider are hereby excused from today's committee meeting. I'd also like to recognize our Legislative Bureau support staff who are assisting us this morning. We have our legal counsel, Antoinette Villagomez, our legislative assistant, Devin Macaranes, our Sergeant at Arms, Ben Tarlahi, and our IT, Mr. Jonathan Odgun. Can I please get a motion to adopt today's agenda?
Chair, so move for the
Thank you.
adoption of today's agenda.
Thank you. Do I hear a second? Thank you. A motion was offered and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. The agenda for today's meeting is hereby adopted. Thank you, members. Next item on the agenda is public comment. The floor is now open for public comments. If anyone in the gallery wishes to provide comments relevant to today's agenda, please join us in the chamber. Okay. Looks like we don't have any comments from the public. Let the record reflect that there's no one in the gallery to provide public comments. The public comment portion of the agenda is now closed. Next on the agenda is new business. Under new business, we have the governor's communication, number GOV 2025-420. Again, the purpose of this meeting is for the committee members to have a discussion and possibly a dialogue with the governor's representative and hopefully the Lottery Commission. I do see that we have Commissioner Macaranes in the chamber, in the gallery, and Mr. Clyde Narita from the governor's office. With that said, do the members have any objections to invite Mr. Clyde Narita and Commissioner Macaranes into the chamber?
No objection, Madam Chair.
Senator Cruz, any objections? Okay, thank you. Senator Calvo, any objections to invite the Mr. Narita and Mr. Macaranes into the chamber?
I do apologize, Chairwoman. The volume's kind of low on my end.
Okay.
Can I request that they increase the volume?
hang on one sec. Short recess.
Appreciation.
Okay, thank you. We rise back from recess. Um, where was I? So before we went on break, we were under new business. For the viewing public, I'm just gonna give a quick recap of what the letter from the governor states, and that's basically a letter to the legislature from the administration urging the legislature to amend Public Law 18-56 to help revive the gaming industry, to restore investor confidence, and to secure critical new sources of public revenue for the retirees and the people of the CNMI. Just a quick recap on some of the amendments that are being proposed by the administration. It's to restructure the casino industry by ending exclusivity, to authorize multiple licenses, diversify the revenue base, and introduce new revenue streams through online gaming and digital payment systems. They also would like to establish stability and resilience by distributing obligations across multiple credible investors. And here are some of the key provisions of the amendment: to establish a non-exclusive license structure with scalable fees and enforceable performance benchmarks, link the casino gross revenue tax directly to gaming performance, ensuring reliable public revenues, dedicated portion of revenues to fund retirees' pensions, safeguarding our most vulnerable, and to modernize the industry through iGaming and stablecoin-backed payment instruments aligned with U.S. regulatory standards. So at this time, I open the chamber to invite Mr. Clyde Norita and Commissioner Macaranas to inside the chamber. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Narita and Mr. Macaranas. For the viewing public, Mr. Clyde Narita is a senior policy advisor to the governor, and Mr. Caranas is in his capacity as a lottery commissioner. Thank you very much to both of you for making the time to come in to sit down with the members to answer some questions that they may have, if you could, and just go from there. So at this time, I open the floor to Mr. Narita, if you have any opening statements you would like to provide.
Good morning, Chair, and members of this committee. Thank you for the invitation to come in and discuss with you the current bill that the administration has sent over to the legislature in regards to the casino, revamping the casino bill. First of all, the governor, since his apology, he is currently meeting now with the Assistant Attorney General and AG in regards to their litigation tomorrow with the retirement fund in district court. In the sense why Commissioner Macaranas is also here, because the Secretary of Finance, who is the chair of the Lottery Commission, is also in that same meeting. I'd like to
Chair, yeah, I was just gonna say that I see Mr. Sablon in the back.
Yes, I'd like to point out that Mr. Patrick Sablon from the Lottery Commission or Enforcement, and Mr. Lyndon Brennan from the Governor's Legal Counsel is also here in case you need us to answer any questions. And then, of course, Mr. J.D. Regis from Department of Commerce is also here.
Thank you for that, Mr. Narita. Members, would you like to invite the other gentlemen who are here to?
I think so, because I understand while you're representing the governor, see Commissioner Clyde, they're here actually substituting or
Okay,
on
yes.
behalf of the other commissioners.
Okay, that's fine. Senator Cruz, any objections to inviting them in? Okay, yes, that. Okay. All right, so will the gentleman in the gallery please join us in the chamber? This is just a discussion. We're not acting on anything. We're just here to discuss the letter from the governor on his proposal. Brendan, please join us in the chamber. Yes. Okay, so for the record, can we just have the gentleman that joined us please state their name for the record and the entity they represent? Thank you.
Hafide, good morning. Hafide, good morning, Chairwoman and members of the committee. Thank you for having. My name is Regis, and I am here as the Acting Secretary of Commerce, standing in place of Secretary Muffness, who is currently off with Representative TJ at the the National Association of Insurance Commissioners. So thank you for having me.
Thank you, Mr. Regis, for joining us. And Mr. Sablon?
Good morning, Madam Chair. Patrick Sablon, the manager for e-gaming branch of the Division of Revenue and Taxation. I'm a support staff for the Lottery Commission. So thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Distinguished members of this committee.
Thank you. And
Hafide Chair and members of the committee, Brendan Lade, Legal Counsel to the Office of the Governor.
Thank you, Mr. Lade. And Commissioner Macaranas, would you like to have any opening statement? If you have.
Madam Chair, good morning. I have no opening statement to offer. Thank you.
Okay, great. All right, so with all the relevant stakeholders here, I open up the floor to any of the Senate committee members to ask any questions or clarifications, if any. Go ahead.
I think Special Assistant or Advisor to the Governor, Mr. Clyde, I guess you were starting to say something and we interrupted you, or maybe we can get a summary of the governors. I know you did a quick summary, but maybe we should recognize Mr. Norita first. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I think the legislation that was sent over to the draft bill that was sent over to the legislature, as you cited, 25 dash, I'm sorry, the
18-56.
36. Immediately discussed with the Office of the Lieutenant Governor and the Governor in regards to trying to revitalize the casino industry here on Saipan. In the same language, the Governor has expressed some concerns over the previous casino bill. In one regards is of course, the salary of commissioners, which was a no-go for the Governor in regards to any of that language in the legislation. And then some other issues of minor technicalities, and I think the meeting of the minds, both the Governor and Lieutenant Governor, resulted in that draft bill that you have in both the House and the Senate, and that's that bill that was sent over to both houses for review and consideration for action and passage.
Thank you, Mr. Narita. Senator Poe, did you want to continue with your line of questions, if you have any?
I have several questions, but not at this time, Chair. I just wanted to listen first.
Okay.
If they have any comments, any of the other witnesses first, and then maybe we'll have this discussion.
So I think in your letter as acting chair for the committee to the Governor in regards to, you had listed 4 itemized subjects that you wanted the committee to be informed. I think the most pressing one was the result of the Team King legal payment to the Sinai government, or payment from the court in the district court. And Brandon is here also as the legal counsel, and I have a draft or a summary of where the money is at, and I think that's one of your concerns are in your question. And if I can, I've got the finance numbers from our Secretary of Finance, but 5 million of that is to the Commonwealth. 1.5 million is to other secured creditors, and about 6 million sum is in escrow to be distributed to pay for administrative costs, professionals, any fees or any payment to IRS, and whatever's left over will be given to other unsecured creditors. That's about a 12.7 some million, I think, the total. The exact number, I think, I have that on record somewhere, but that's what we understand to report to this committee. I think that if you need more information about the litigation itself with Tim King, I would defer the committee over to, or refer the committee over to the Attorney General's office. They would have more information about that.
Go ahead.
So with regards to just I guess before we actually work on the detail of the legislation, we just need to understand a few concerns. And yes, can you just in detail elaborate a little bit on the exclusivity aspect of the casino today with with Team King having the right in the next, I guess, few more months, right? That and you maybe tell us when is the deadline for that option that they have to exercise whether they want to continue with the casino's exclusive license. Can you explain a little bit so we can get a better understanding?
Go ahead, please.
Just for the background, so in the course of IPI's bankruptcy, there was a sale of most of IPI's assets, including an option to acquire the current exclusive casino license for a period of 9 months. So the sale was, as Mr. Narita said, for $12.7 million. There was an auction with two bidders: the stalking horse bidder, Loilam Sit, and the overbidder, Team King Investment CNMI LLC, which was for the hotel property, various other assets, and this option to acquire the license, which was 9 months from the date the sale closed, which I believe was August 23rd, 2025. But the principal of Team King has already sent a letter to the governor and the lieutenant governor stating that that Team King will not be exercising the option to acquire the exclusive license, and instead might potentially be interested in seeking a non-exclusive license after amendments are made to the legislation, which was the communication which the governor sent to the legislature.
So is that addressed in the legislation sent to us? You know, that's just a letter, right? They can change their mind tomorrow.
Senator, can you please turn on your mic?
So is that addressed in the draft legislation presented to the legislature, so that we don't, if they change their mind tomorrow, we don't want to pass a bill or work on a legislation that will be affected by a change in the consideration of that option?
Well, I think the bill that was sent to the legislature for consideration addresses non-exclusive licensing. It also addresses the room requirement, which I believe the original casino bill mandated 2,000 rooms. So that also was addressed and dropped down. So all of that have been addressed in the bill, which does not grant any exclusive license to any company or applicant. Now, if Team King wants to, I would assume, I'm assuming now, if Team King wants to inject their right to exclusive, it's within 9 months, and at this point in time, that's their decision to make. But from our understanding, from what we've been told, is that they don't want to exercise that exclusive license, and that's the reason why we proceeded to rework the legislation, the bill draft, for consideration.
So when is the exact date for that 9 months option to expire?
I don't have the exact date.
I think it would be about June 2026, 9 months from when the sale closed in August 2025. But Team King has already conveyed that it does not intend to exercise the option to acquire the existing license under the current law, and instead seeks amendment to the casino law to potentially seek a non-exclusive license. And I believe the communication from Team King to the governor stating that Team King will not be exercising that option has already been filed in the bankruptcy court docket by the AG's office.
Sorry, Senator, can I just have a follow-up? So that's under the assumption by Team King that if the proposed legislation passes this current legislature, right? So what happens in the 9 months period if the legislation doesn't go anywhere? What happens to the exclusive license? Because they have 9 months to, I guess, claim rights to the exclusive license. So if nothing happens with the proposed legislation to amend the existing requirement of the exclusive license, do you know what would happen to the exclusive license itself?
So absent amendment to the current law, the exclusive license would revert to the Commonwealth if the option is not exercised to acquire it.
Got it. Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. Senator Paul, you have the floor.
Under this bill, you know, the problem with Public Law 1856 was, I'm not quite sure whether it was the Casino Commission that changes the requirement of the bond, completion bond. Is that addressed in this, if this were to be passed, to make sure that, I know that the options are 300 million or 50 million if it's an existing hotel, right? That's the option under this bill. But how do we not make the same mistake if we were to move forward and comply with the changes that you have as far as the bonding requirement?
I think, Senator, that the wisdom of this process is that we've prepared a draft of the legislation and that we submit it to the legislature to consider the bill in your hand, and that we have learned from our past mistakes, and I think that both the Senate and the House can sit down together, and definitely there are probably some lacking. I'm not sure exactly where that might be, and if that is not addressed in the bill, then I think the Senate, in its wisdom, would insert whatever language necessary to guard, the process, so that we don't go down that mistake again when we pass this, or when you pass this legislation. Again, we submit to the legislature for consideration on this bill.
Thank you. I understand also that there's like, just to understand better, since your legal counsel is here, there is like a grandfather provision for going back to Team King, right? If they decide to move forward with the non-exclusive license, they are grandfathered if they actually. I mean, is that the situation, that if they paid a 1 million license fee and $500,000 application fee, we can work with them under this legislation?
I've reviewed the bill, but it does not in any way address Team King itself. It addresses that any applicant must come in and apply and go through the process of a background check. So I didn't see any language in the bill that guarantees.
Oh, I guess it's just through that option, I guess I'm looking at. But let's say they come to the legislature and they say, if you give us one license and we pay all the requirements, we will finish that structure down there. Is that something that the legislature can consider, or is it wise to consider that, if they play on a level playing field, and then the legislature can give them an incentive to? And I'm just asking this out because there's some discussions out there. We don't want to see that structure there, fall down the reef, right? And so we're saying some are discussing this, that one option is to talk to them, finish that, and if you do finish it and you meet the requirement of the other licenses, then with that incentive, they can be given a license. Is that a wise decision to do, or even to consider?
That's a scenario question that I don't want to answer. I think that the non-exclusive issue with this legislation is important. It opens up the market. I don't think that if they want to remain in the game of casino industry, then they should go through the process of applying and going through the vetting process and paying the necessary license fees. I mean, if they want to also finish up the current building, then good luck to them. But again, this is a clean slate as the way we look at it, and that all applicants are welcome to apply and go through the process.
Legislation, one of the option is instead of the $300 million, they say you can just use an existing hotel, right? As long as they upgrade it. I guess my concern with a general language like this is do we want all the any hotel to apply for this casino license, or do we want a standard hotel quality in order for them to apply for a license?
Well, I think the wisdom behind that language, sir, was I think it limits to no less than 250 rooms, if I'm not mistaken, or 150 rooms. In retrospect of the amount of hotels on the island of Saipan and how many have 150 rooms minimum, you're talking about probably 4 or 5 only, handful. Anybody else with less than 150 rooms do not qualify to apply and buy such a hotel if it doesn't meet the room requirement, even though they might say that they want to invest $50 million to build up that hotel, or then okay, but they need to meet the minimum 150 rooms. I think 150 or 250. I don't know the exact.
Chair, I'm gonna allow the other members, but before I yield, is there a concern in the community that they just don't want casino anymore? Is that something that we should be? I know that 1856 was passed for the retirees, their 25%, and also the minimum annual payment to the settlement fund and other revenue purposes, right? And here we are now. We're trying to also find the resources for the retirees, and so that's why I understand in the governor's letter it's clearly detailed as to the purpose and the reason for recommending this option to the legislature. But is that something that we should try to gauge the community out there, whether they want to have this industry revive, or that we should move forward with the governor's recommendation, and that's a question that I guess faces all of us, and I know the revenue challenges also are a big concern for all of us also. So I just want to point that out, and I'm thinking that I remember back in 2012. I guess I was the Senate President back then, and we were asked to, for the first time, pass a casino legislation on Saipan. And so what we did back then was we had a very informal election on Saipan, and we had a voting center here in the legislature and one at the NMC, and people it was widely publicized. People come and exercise their right to decide whether they want casino on Saipan, and I guess the result was no, and that was in 2012, I believe, or around 2012, and then in 2014, of course, 1856 passed. So that's something that we, in moving forward, on this legislation, I'm also going to be keeping an open ear to the, especially the people of Saipan, because this involves casino here on Saipan, because Rhoda and Tinian actually went to the local initiative. They had put this out to the people in a general election, and they supported it. But here, the big issue back then in 2014 was that the legislature just railroaded this legislation, and so I guess this brief period gives us this opportunity to assess the sentiment also of the people, and likewise I know that I see the chairman of the retirees back there, former Congressman Tenorio is here, and so also in 2014 the retirees were, now one seat was available there, standing room only, and they were here asking the legislature to support the casino bill. So that's a sentiment that we want to feel from the community as we move forward also, at least as far as some of us are concerned. No, I just want to mention that, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator. I think I just a follow-up question then, Mr. Narita. Has there been any efforts by the administration to do some kind of public outreach to kind of gauge the sentiments of the citizens of the 3rd Senatorial District, and in hopes to encourage the people of Saipan to support and provide, I guess, share their cooperation and understanding in the governor's efforts in trying to revive an existing industry, right? But also to help our local economy get out of the slumps. So any efforts by the administration to try and do some public outreach?
So, Chairwoman and Senator Mangonia, let me try to answer this in this way. We're always going to have divisiveness, or division in regards to underwater seabed mining or casino and so forth. The current Sinamay casino was not repealed, but through executive order was transferred to the Sinamay Lottery Commission. So we call it a pause, you might say. It's an industry that's still here, that's available to us in the Sinamay. We are limited in the amount of funding and revenue for the government so that it can provide the services necessary to help our people. And we're not, it hasn't been repealed. We're not trying to start all over. And yes, Senator Malonia, probably it's just a jump start. And as I said in my previous comment, that the administration submitted this bill to revise or revamp the legislation of the Casino Act, so that we all, I think, have learned what can go wrong when it's not closely monitored. And I think that all of us, both in the Senate, the House, and the administration, see this as a revenue, but we are more now vigilant in regards to if we're going to go that way and to amend this legislation and pass it, that we'll be able to ensure that the services and the business industry is controlled, and we have the resources to do it, to make sure that we do it.
Go ahead.
But the recommendation also, commissioners, is to include online gaming, and that's something that's new. And while it's not the main part of this legislation, it includes online gaming, and we know that that's a totally different subject matter under the casino again. That some are raising concern that you might need to have another commission just for that under this commission. So that's why actually it's looking like we're adding more, and so maybe that's the next question. Is that something that we can separate, or do we need to keep intact with with this recommendation because it includes all the major industry of online casino.
I think that the Saipan Casino Commission needed to catch up because the reason why that language was embedded in this bill that was submitted to you, the legislature, is that both Rota Casino Commission and the Tinian Casino Commission are already they've got legislation or regulation in place to address online gaming. So it was just Saipan because of I think the executive order that paused it and transferred to the lottery commission, that Saipan was not able to catch up to that. But again, that this bill would address that issue if the casino commission here in Saipan wants to adopt the regulation for online gaming. Again, it gives authority back to the casino commission, but if I'm not mistaken, both Rota and Tinian already have either the legislation or the regulation in play.
Thank you, Senator Paul. Senator Cruz, do you have any questions or statements you would like to provide?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to ask the status of because we want to make sure that the new investor, the Team King, because I think the interest of that company is to take over the casino, right? So they acquire all the assets. So we want to make sure there's no legal lawsuit because I know you guys want the proposal is to amend the 1856 to be non-exclusive. So the interest of King, we want to make sure that is on the same boat with non-exclusive, because otherwise if Team King is relying on exclusive license, we're going to have big problem by amending 1856, because I believe the process went through the court, right, to acquire that asset, and I believe the interest of that asset is to run. And I want to know from the Lottery Commission whether they have license, or did the Lottery Commission or the previous commissioner issue them a casino license, or they haven't had that yet? Because if none, then maybe we can be discussing over non-exclusive. But if they have that license, then it's gonna be very difficult unless they agree to that. Otherwise, like I said, we don't wanna run into another, heavy equipment that we cannot remove. So that's my major concern. And the other one is, if I may, Madam Chair, how do we arrive into $100 million revenue for up to 5 years? Where do we get this analysis?
And I think that's one of the, let me address the part about the $100 million revenue, is that the analysis is a projection that was made by a staffer of the Lieutenant Governor's office, and was submitted to both the Senate and the House. That projection, I think needs to be restudied again carefully, but obviously the need for revenue is there. As to exactly how the projections were made, I am not privy to that.
The reason why I mention this is because even though we keep discussing over casino, and we don't have the market for that casino, I don't think we will generate revenue. I don't know whether the Lottery Commission, is there investors knocking on the door that they're willing to invest in this particular industry? Because I think the commission should be exploring options where to market this, because like I said, even with for example Tinian, if they are just concentrating on China, which is we're having problem with China market, and the only market is Chinese. So how we can arrive with 100 million if we don't have the market base? That's my concern. And like you mentioned, Commissioner, we don't want to repeat the same thing what happened in the past. So I think this should be thoroughly explore and see how can we make this happen, because I know that, I'm sorry, I didn't support casino for Commonwealth Casino. This is Commonwealth Casino. I believe it's not Saipan Casino, it's Commonwealth Casino. That's why they have commission from the senatorial district. I'm not sure how did this happen that it went to the lottery commission, but according to 1556, as long as that is not amended to remove that, I think it should be followed. And that's the lawyers to explain to that with that legal issue. But I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think this should be done, right, and not just gloss over it, and because it's gonna be another. And I hate to say fail, because when we say fail, I don't wanna that kind of statement to potential interest on casino industry will distract them. Maybe perhaps we can start saying unsuccessful casino, but when we mention fail, it's like, after all, I didn't support it, but after all that IPA have done to the casino, I think we should give them a little credit of at least something that will not make them feel like they just. And that's the courts to decide. No, if the court decide that they did not proceed forward with what is supposed to be, then let them handle that. But for us to be saying something that it's not, it's not going to be attractive for other potential investors to come in and invest. But like I said, the commission should if you're tasked with the responsibility now, you should be exploring what is the, how do we market it? How do we convince them? Because if we have passed this and we don't have that base, I don't know, like what Senator Paul mentioned, whether the people of Saipan still agree to this, industry. I know this is going to be, for me, in my own opinion, casino industry is a money-making industry that can help anything with our ailing economy. But like I said, we want to prove it to the people of the Commonwealth that what we're doing is the right thing. And if we amend this and there's no, assurance that we can catch up to it, and the people are going to say the legislature failed because we did pass another legislation and it doesn't work. So we need you guys to help us help our people, because at the end of the day, the legislature is always the blame on every single matter that is in passed. So I am not against it, but I think we should, make it do the right thing, and make sure we have something that we can explain to the people that the commission did they explore, and this is what we have, and we are sure that that's gonna work. Otherwise, we're gonna be relying on tourism, and it's not a guarantee, because when the dollar of a different country is low, they don't come. They don't come because it's low. So, thank you, Madam Chair, and I hope that I didn't insult you guys, but I think we should work together to make it happen. Thank you.
Mrs. Mossy, Senator Cruz. I guess
Madam Chair, if,
Go ahead.
Senator, and you're right at the end of the day, but I think and this is my personal opinion, the current lottery commission, which the casino is now under, I don't think they have the capacity to to run the casino, Cinemite Casino or Saipan Casino. And I think this is the reason why we're here asking the legislature to work together in passing this legislation and maybe adding some more of your wisdom to this bill to ensure that the Casino Commission stands up to operate, market, whatever they need to do because, and it's not an insult to the Lottery Commission, it's just that, the Commissioner of Public Safety is here. His full-time job is being the Chief of Police. The Secretary of Commerce is here, and her full-time job is being the Secretary of Commerce, and Secretary of Finance being the Secretary of Finance. But they don't concentrate 100% on casino. And you're right. Your experience tells you that. And I think that in order for this industry to be revived again, is that we need to stand up the Casino Commission and this legislation and tweak it to where you all think is the best for the people of the cinema. And then, and let's go down that road together.
Thank you. Go ahead, Senator.
Yeah, Madam, and thank you, Commissioner. The reason why I said marketing, because I know the Lottery Commission's supposed to be not deeply involved with casino. It has to be a set of commissioners, because the commissioners for the casino are not supposed to be marketing because as much as they don't get involved with marketing, it will be alleviate, corruption and stuff like that. So that's not the part of the Casino Commission to reach out for investors. But that's why I mentioned in Lottery Commission is supposed to be doing it, and that's why I don't see why it was transferred to the Lottery Commission, which is it's very difficult for the Lottery Commission to be marketing, because commissioners are the regulatory body for the casino itself. But if commissioners, the Lottery Commission is a regulatory body, you cannot market, you cannot get involved with that, because we try to avoid, wrongdoings in that industry. So, like I said, if we were to address the non-exclusive, I think we should fix that first before we even go further, because the regulatory is not supposed to be dealing with marketing. It has to be the Lottery Commission, or maybe the administration, or maybe even commerce or NVIA. But I strongly oppose for the Casino Commission to be part of that, because their job is to regulate, is to protect the industry, make sure that everything that we do is not going to be under the radar of the federal government or even our own government, our own authority. So that's the reason why I mentioned I don't understand why they move it to and that's going to be very complicated. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Senator Cruz. You made some very great points. And Mr. Narita, you just kind of answered the questions that I was about to raise with regards to the Lottery Commission. As Senator Cruz stated earlier, the Casino Commission is a regulatory body separate from the Lottery Commission for good reasons, right? It's that separation of duties and to ensure that there are no discrepancies within each duties and responsibilities. So let me pose this question then. Does the administration have any plans to rescind the executive order that was issued by the late Governor Palacios to restore the Casino Commission to ensure that there is a separate regulatory body to monitor and enforce the requirements of the law? Should we even move forward? Because the Casino Commission was dealing with one casino operator. Now, if we were to amend the existing law and remove the exclusive license and issue multiple licenses, it's going to get pretty hectic with just having one regulatory body. Currently it's the Lottery Commission, right? And as you said, all commissioners have full-time responsibilities to their respective departments. And if we don't clean up, the way it is right now, how can we even deal with multiple casino licenses without an independent regulatory body to oversee that part of the industry.
So I think it goes hand in hand with the legislation. You know, the administration has concerns with the previous bill or law and the way the Casino Commission was organized. But I think that when the legislation is passed, or if passed, and before it's signed into law, that the executive order has to be rescinded.
Okay.
It
So
has to be.
yes.
I mean, you can't have multiple commissions trying to fight over who's got jurisdiction.
Yeah.
And I think that's where you have to embed the language in the bill
Okay.
that will make it very clear.
Yes.
But yes, if it's to the satisfaction of everybody, both administration and the legislature, then the administration will rescind the executive
Okay,
order.
so just to be clear, there is an understanding that should we move forward with the proposed legislation to amend, that the understanding is that the Casino Commission will be restored
Yes.
and rescind the executive order. Okay, yeah, that is quite concerning, and again, no fault to the Lottery Commission, but we do need a dedicated set of bodies to be properly trained, right? To be familiar with the regulations and to ensure that enforcement is key in all of this, because without enforcement, we will go down the same path that had happened in so we can have all the regulations in place, we can have all the internal controls in place, but if nothing is and even monitoring, but if you're not enforcing, that's where the damage comes in. So I'm glad that we're having this dialogue, and also letting our people know that, we're not just blindly looking at the proposed legislation, but we are thinking about all the past mistakes that have been done and finding solutions to ensure that we put the right internal controls in place, and just really, again, enforcement is key in all of this. So going back to the existing law right now versus what's being proposed. So I haven't really read, and I haven't had a chance to read the proposed legislation in depth and in detail. So as far as regulatory fees and license fees, what are the key differences between the existing and the proposed?
I think my fault in that one is that I don't have a detailed knowledge of the current
Okay.
public law.
Brendan, would you have some specific information on those?
Sure. So the current annual license fee is 15 million, with a peg to an increase in inflation. That's changed to 1 million for the non-exclusive license under the draft legislation. And then just a couple clarifications on some earlier questions. I think Senator Manglonia asked about the room threshold. It's down to 100 rooms for the minimum investment threshold in the draft legislation. There's a provision for a conversion license for an entity that acquired the assets of the existing exclusive license holder. So this draft legislation has a provision for an entity that acquired the exclusive license holder's assets to be converted into a non-exclusive license. And then there's a provision which confers authority on the Casino Commission to require a completion bond.
Perfect. Okay, so like I said, I haven't really reviewed the bill in its entirety, but for a casino operator to apply for a license, are they required to have the hotel rooms, or can they operate independent of having hotel rooms?
So there's still the minimum investment threshold, which is 300 million and a 100 hotel room minimum investment threshold.
Okay, and I'm posing this question because there might be casino operators that may not want to operate a hotel separate. They want to operate separate from the whole resort thing and just focus on the casino operations itself. So I'm assuming that that's not in the bill, and this is something for the the entire legislature to consider whether to give that option to an applicant to operate a casino independent of hotel rooms and just have a facility and operate the gaming out of there. I guess another question that I had was the allocation from the revenues generated out of this industry. I know part of it, a good part of the reason why we are exploring this revival of this industry is to help support or to fund the retirees' pension, both the 75% and the 25%. And so we want to, I'm not sure if it's already in the legislation, whether it's specific how much of the revenue will be allocated towards the retirees. Do you know, Brendan, by any chance?
The legislation creates casino gross revenue tax account, which would deposit monies received from a gross revenue tax, and then 10% of revenue received pursuant to that section is to be deposited in a reserve fund, which is sort of a rainy day fund. So then, apart from that 10%, which goes into this reserve rainy day fund, most of the gross revenue tax would be allocated to the 25% retirement benefits and cost of living allowance.
Okay, so when we talk about rainy day funds, can we provide some specific, more specifics on what that is, and when is it applicable to draw down from that account? What are some specific scenarios or situations, if it arises, that particular account can be accessed?
So the reserve fund would be managed by the Secretary of Finance pursuant to the prudent investor fiduciary standard, and then there would be a fund custodian to manage those assets. I don't think there's specifics in this legislation about circumstances under which that money would be drawn down, but I would imagine in emergency fiscal situations.
Right, so those are the kind of things that we need to spell out, right? Because everybody has their own definition of what's considered an emergency. And so I think it's very pertinent, it's very critical that we specify what those are in this legislation. But yes, that would be for both the House and the Senate to work on, to ensure that we have proper languages in there and there are no assumptions of what the definition is. So thank you, Brendan. Also, maybe I can ask this to Mr. Narita. So in the governor's letter, it talks about establishing stability and resilience by distributing obligations across multiple credible investors. So when we talk about credible investors, can we just be a little bit more specific? Like how do we deem an investor to be credible? Like what are some of the criterias or categories that, is there a guideline that we would have in place to, that as these applicants are coming in to apply, that we check all those boxes?
I think, Chair, that initially you start with the background check.
Yes.
As a law enforcement background person, and Mr. Patrick Sablon being here, you start with a background check. You get to know their financials, you get to know their integrity, you get to know their history.
So do we already have those things in place to ensure that we have, specific things that we are looking for them to meet that criteria?
Well, so there is, if I'm not mistaken, can you show that 22 page?
Yeah, there is a comprehensive application package that is like it's over 73 pages. So it looks at the background, both financial and the individuals behind this company that are applying for the casino.
Okay.
So it's quite extensive. So we do vet whatever information that are disclosed in this application, and we do reach out to like a reputable company out there outside source where they're professional in doing the background vetting for us, because we don't have the capability
Okay,
to
so,
do the.
for background checks, we obviously look into their criminal, if any, right, criminal history. I'm really concerned about the financial background, like who will do the financial background?
We have auditors, of course, in the casino commission. That's if the casino commission has those examiners to examine the financials. And then you have like reputable companies out there, like Dun and Bradstreet, for example. That's a
Okay, so
very-
we would seek third-party companies to do the background check.
If you want to make sure that this information that was disclosed in the application are true and correct, you reach out to those
Okay.
reputable.
And I ask this because I'm really concerned, because one of the departments that we called in to do a public hearing on, on one of the land leases, is that, their financial background was only to show their bank statement, which is how much cash they have in their account. And to me, that is not financial background check, because anybody can show you how much money they have in their account, but what they're not showing you or telling you is how much has been already obligated towards that cash balance, right? So I'm really iffy when we talk about, financial background, because I want to make sure that when we are looking at somebody's financial background, that we're not just looking at bank statements, we're looking at their financial position, right? Audited financial statements to ensure that these investors are indeed credible and they do have the financial backing to move forward with the investments.
Yes, to answer that question, we do have folks that are trained for pre-licensing and financial background with, the gaming institute, international institute in Nevada, Las Vegas. So you have individuals out there that can do and examine this information for the Commonwealth. So it's just a matter of just,
Okay.
having them do that.
We want to give the assurance to our people that we have, credible, reputable companies or individuals with proper experience to actually review, the supporting documents that are requested by the reviewing body, right? And so at the end of the day, our job is to protect the interest of our people and, do our best to generate revenues, as Mr. Narita said, to try and fund all the different programs and services that we provide to our community. Yes, the casino is not the most popular industry, we hear the sentiments of our people, but there's also a very high demand and expectation from our people, from not just the legislators, but also the administration, right, to find resources to accommodate a lot of our financial woes. And so, we have an existing industry that we could definitely revive and put more controls in place to ensure that, the success of the industry is, well protected. And we just have to do due diligence and really learn from our past mistakes and make sure that we cover all that. So, we're trying to be optimistic here, and we're trying to look for ways to improve our economy by looking at other industries. I mean, the governor, the administration talks about diversifying our industry, and we all know that we cannot rely on our sole industry, which is tourism. I would encourage not just MVA, but also the administration to explore other forms of tourism, right? Where there's so many. It's not just hospitality. We have sports tourism. We have ecotourism. There's so many different branches of tourism that we haven't really explored, or maybe we have. We just haven't really taken actions. But the casino is already an existing industry, along with the cannabis industry. There's no reason why we can't look at those industries and try to figure out a way to improve the situation that we're in. So,
So,
I-
Madam Chair, if, just to elaborate further from what Mr. Sablon had mentioned, I think in the current legislation or bill is a $300,000 that the applicant must put up
mhm.
for the background check. And again, this background check, because of what again, what Patrick had mentioned is the 74-point page questionnaire for each of the applicants and their families. It's a very detailed background check, and it has to be done by sources outside the Commonwealth, professionals who do this for a living. You know, there's an industry out there that just does background checks.
Yeah.
And so these people, you know, they're not cheap, and that's the reason why I firmly believe that if the bill passes into law with the non-exclusive license, that we're gonna get a lot of inquiries for people who want to invest in the casino here. But I also think that when the, you know, put up or shut up
Yes.
statement comes up,
Yeah.
that they have to put up the background check fee, which is I
And the
believe
reality
30,000.
is the ones
Some of them
that-
will start to dwindle away, and then
Yeah.
those who are serious will put up the money to do the background
Absolutely.
check. So
Yes, and so, you know, just to add to that, there have been casino operators who have reached out inquiring, but they are concerned about the way the existing law is and just the way that we operate, right? But as you have said, you know, if we made those changes and we require, right, high standards, right, the serious applicants will pay up because they know that their investment will yield much more than what they would invest into the application fees and all the background check and all that. So, you know, that's the only way to really filter out all the, you know, the bad actors, right, versus the real serious casino operators who really see the industry as an investment for them. And we just have to do our part, right, and pick up our standards and make sure that we hold everyone accountable. So, again, this committee meeting is just to, you know, entertain the letter that was submitted to the legislature by our governor, and to start the conversation. I've already reached out to my counterparts at the House to start dialogue, and also take their view or stance on, you know, what was submitted to us. I'm sure that they have their own, you know, sentiments about it, or maybe even concerns and issues they may have with the bill. But this is where we can sit down together, collaborate, and make this bill a better and more effective bill. Any bill that's submitted to the legislature, proposed in the legislature, as we know, is never perfect. This is why we take the time in the committee to iron out all the details and make sure that we insert any languages or, you know, additional languages that is needed to make sure that before we move forward with the bill, that it's a good bill for the entire CNMI. So, if there are no other, Senator Paul.
Thank you, Chair. And I would also like to add to what the Chair said, that in trying to collaborate and reaching out, that we also had a conversation with the former CEO and chairman of the Casino Commission. And I bring that up because, you know, so that we can understand more on this proposal. But I bring that up because my next question really is, do we have in the CNMI government an expert on gaming, a consultant that we can use that will help us in learning from our experience, in learning from our mistakes? Because, you know, Commissioner and I, we have this bill, but I know we hear a lot of our mistakes, right? But how do we address it? And so that's why I constantly bring up the issue of DPAC, the Development Planning Committee, right? That was set up in public law. Well, actually, I'm not sure whether that's part of the public law, but that was part of the casino license agreement, right? And so DPAC was supposed to help us avoid a lot of these mistakes and corruption and whatever, right? So that we do it right. These are the membership of this committee, are the people that have experience in resort and casino development. And so I hear that maybe you wouldn't have any objection if we were to revisit that and make sure that we kind of have some kind of body like that to ensure that the development proceeds forward on time and we do it right. Because I can't understand why the DPAC would allow the removal of the construction completion bond, right? So I guess we just need like linguay bio needs para that's already Nancy's Commissioner. Our concern with for example, we brought it up in the public hearing because the chair is also the chair for resources and development, and I'm glad that she's continuing on with the meeting with DPL, right? Because I hate to point my finger to a particular company, but I have to keep bringing up Hyatt because Hyatt is the nicest hotel. I'm sorry to Crown Hotel, right? But it's the nicest hotel on Saipan. And that one was renewed in 2022 by Portopia and the administration, and they were supposed to renovate by 2023. And they didn't do it in 2023. They didn't do it in 2024. They sold it to the present owner, and here we are in 2025. We can't seem to put a language to say that we bring somebody in, they're committed to their word and to the contract. And so we don't want again to have something like that, right, where we sign an agreement and we still make a mistake. No, pues eso, we want to make sure that if we're going to do this, especially because our people out there are watching us and they're not really sure that this is, half of them are saying yes, the other half saying no go, and so if we're going to do it, we got to do it right, no? So DPAC, construction completion bond, investigation, making sure that, when they come in here, because, I'm to be honest, I'm concerned with the, online gaming on Rhoda and Tinian also, because if we have a black eye there, we all get black eye. It affects even the Commonwealth, right? The Saipan. So we just have to make sure we do it right. And I'm happy that you're open to some of these changes or consideration that we have, such as, for example, the number of licenses. This one doesn't say, for example, how many licenses, right? I think we do need to put a cap at least, and the legislature can always add on later on, no? But this bill doesn't have a cap on the number of licenses, and in fact, you can have several locations also, right, if you're approved. So that's something that that we really need to take into consideration. And again, I repeat, the online aspect of this legislation. But let me get back. Is there anybody that the administration is working on that's an expert on casino and that we can tap on? I want to recognize Mr. Paul Jack in the back. Mr. Paul Jack, in all the Casino Commission meeting, is called Mr. Public because he attend all the commission meetings, public hearings, and so I kind of getting his assistant also. But is there anybody that the administration or even from the former casino commissioners, like Mr. Ed Guerrero is a very resourceful person because he's been there for 6-7 years and he's attended all these workshop trainings, as well as some of the other commissioners, and I think we should tap to their experience also, and so the chair appreciate, invited him to make comments also, but he's off island. So kuha taw-taw ni mon siya ta tap zata na siguro na tadansis ni. Thank you.
Thank you for that question, Senator. And as a former CCC employee, we do have networks and contacts for experts out there. We do, and till today, we still have those contacts, and we can reach out to them and assist the Casino Commission if the Casino Commission will be reestablished.
Or can you inform us of some of those so we can also reach out to them since they have played part of the history of the casino here, right? They're aware of the.
I'm aware of two. It's Innovative Group that did the first exclusive, and the B2G Global. So I don't know if they're still out there. I don't have the contact. I was trying to reach out to them, but there was no communication back. So those are the two that work on the exclusive with the lottery back in 2014.
As for the CNMI government, there is nobody in the CNMI government who's an expert in casino. You have to understand that casino is a very diverse field. I know Pat, he's law enforcement background. I respect his background, but part of enforcement wise, but as for regulation and promulgation, that's somebody else's expertise. And so you find that the field is very big, but as for somebody who's diversified in casino, in the CNMI government, no. Unless they're hiding somewhere in some department that we don't know about, but no.
Okay, so as the chair mentioned, we're going to be working with the House, and hopefully you can continue to work with us also, as if that's the intent of the committee or both houses, is to work on this, because makat magwag genozung na yung commissioner todo sa mga tatungwa na mapus ba madirisi tauta za no manchinichikiti sa gwati zania na casino zan italoki takikichek manera na sinya tafanano mona lo ano natan na istiloki uno na diferensya 15 million no casino license annual fee before pago 1 million interest 3 million na no low. I commend the fact that no ma-revert what to ki gross revenue na concept sinya inajuda gano no mass revenue para i casino industry, so tabalansa siya sa I think na dinansya to go gi gross revenue sa gialatsa i non casino operation na isa ma gross revenue no ti casino no enigi uno na diferensya na udo ni non exclusive. I think na maulig sa na no tita na 2 billion na development sa tadagin mamay sa ita sa hopefully nung guaman holum mas angin inigi malagota no zani rainy day account. I think zao in a rainy day account sa ti patalatsa ya tururu ya fama holum pago sa como agista tsutso no sinya no akukusunin mona pues thank you chair no si tu sumasi no dan tausa encourage si publiko genozung fan mangi katna fan comment fan managang alon sa tafanazo da sa market I tafafana mona esta maazo I Bank of Guam 30 million last year, maazo I MPLT 29 million this year. Titungo si para tazo sa no luluan naman si go at least lo para si Senator Cruz na ti sa don mommy pago ti ginini legislature ginini sa Roman fund sa luluan nam sa bunga na pa rin card 25% ni manditiraw gano si pe mga kwento set si Jesus Marcy
manita gano na classification Senator. Madam Chair, I think on behalf of the executive branch, especially the governor and the lieutenant governor, is that in regards to working together and finding resources to help with putting the language of the bill together, that within the realm of the executive branch, we have our own expertise on various sections, and we will be more than happy to, when you call us, we will be more happy to help in any way help you figure out the languages of the legislation.
I agree, Mr. Narita. This is a collaborative effort from both branches, because in order for us to move forward and ensure that there's proper language in the legislation, we also need to get commitment from the administration, right, as to how all of these, right, will come together to ensure that there's proper management of the industry itself and there's sufficient manpower and the resources to ensure that happens. So it's a collaborative effort, and we, like Senator Paul, it's not a popular topic, right, or even a decision that we're about to make, but we are put in a position to make hard decisions for the betterment of our people, and it may not always be the popular decision at the time, but in the long term, when we see the results of these unpopular decisions that we make, I'm sure our people will understand and will appreciate the pressure that we've been put on to take on these kinds of tasks. So, I'm a firm believer that that, you know, despite the challenges, right, there's always a way around it, and we just have to work together to find what that is. But it's important that we work together, both the executive and the legislature, and ensure that whatever bill that is before us, that, you know, both branches are in agreement and there is an action plan to move forward with it. So I completely forgot that we have Senator Calvo on the line. Mr. Senator Calvo, nandito mo ni patience and your understanding. But at this time, if you have anything you would like to share or ask the individuals who are here in the chamber with us, please feel free. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairwoman. I really want to thank you for your facilitation as the chair, and also our Vice Chair, Senator Paul, for inviting the stakeholders to enlighten us in regards to their subject matter expertise in regards to our casino industry. Mr. Norita, thank you for your comments. I know we have Secretary of Commerce, if he's there. I don't have the visual. Mr. Macaranas, Public Safety, and how our Chairwoman, and we are reiterating the importance of the Gaming Commission and the Lottery Commission, how under the executive order it did merge because, you know, of financial reasons too. And but the number one thing I wanted to take away, for us to take away, is the restoration of public confidence in the casino gaming industry. That with the governor's message is the commitment that we all have, you know, restoring the confidence of our people in the Commonwealth, to ensure that, you know, we did have at risk the failure of the exclusive licensing model under IPI. You know, it could have been an exclusive model under another industry, but unfortunately the closure and the lawsuits that went forward, you know, didn't pan out and left our industry at risk, our financial situation at risk. So I'm hoping that with this legislation, we look forward to other, you know, global investors, you know, from Japan, Korea, Micronesia, U.S. You know, if you already have them through your legal review and people that are experts, the attraction of this proposal on non-exclusive model will work for them in general. Knowing also our municipalities, certain big casino industries, they go for exclusive versus non-exclusive, that I've been learning throughout this entire process. So it's very important that we do look to ensure that we are accommodative, we do monitor and control, because I know if we do have, like was mentioned earlier, so many investors willing to operate, you know, the cap, you know, can we handle the commission, the regulatory people, can we handle that growth over time? So that's just another point I wanted to share. So I'm looking forward to, you know, we do have the facility there, Team King, to move forward with the support of this bill in place, and, you know, soon to attract other investors and hotels to be ready for, you know, this investment group and so forth. So thank you, Chair. Thank you, Vice, our committee, and all stakeholders on your end, as this is a process, and we look forward to working as collaboratively as possible to get this started and moving forward so we can generate the needed revenue to filter down for all the necessities that our people deserve for healthcare and so forth. Well, thank you so much.
Senator Calvo. Senator Cruz, any last comments or questions you have? You're good? Está. How about you, Senator Paul? Está. To Mr. Narita and the rest of the individuals in the chamber. And any final statements or comments you would like to provide before we close?
Just one, Madam Chairwoman, for the questionnaire brought up by Senator Cruz, there is no license being issued to Team King as of this time.
Can we be given a copy of that letter? Or can we, of the letter that they wrote to the administration that they have no interest?
Sure, that can be provided. It's also been filed in the bankruptcy court docket.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? You're good? Okay, before we adjourn, I just would like to ask if possible, can we get a copy of the 78-page background check? Just, I'm curious to see what types of questions, are on that background check, and also the application fee if there's one available. Perhaps maybe if we have any input, to better have safeguards in there. I hope that whoever the rightful authority is would consider our recommendations. But I'm really curious to see what the background check application looks like, just for curiosity.
Madam Chair, I will provide that to you.
And I will share it to the members as soon as I receive it. So,
Madam Chair, to tell you, that background check, they even want the financial history of your ex-spouse
okay.
in the past 10 years.
Yes.
That's how detailed that report
Okay.
is. I was amazed.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that, although they passed the financial background check with flying colors, it's still very important to show that they have the capability to take on additional projects, right? Or whatever capital ventures they want to get into, because they may have the proper financial backing right now for their existing projects, but moving forward to take on additional projects, we want to make sure that these companies are viable, right? We don't want a repeat of, there's no need to mention any names, right? But we've all encountered many different situations and scenarios that has led us to where we are now. And it's like Mr. Narita has been using the term wisdom, right? With all these challenges and failures that we've experienced, there's definitely wisdom that comes out of it, and it is our duty and responsibility to ensure that we minimize or avoid many of those mistakes. And so we have to make sure that due diligence is there. But other than that, if there are no other questions or comments from the members, I'd like to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is the adjournment. So can I get a motion to adjourn today's committee meeting?
So move, Madam Chair, to adjourn subject to the call of the chair. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a motion to adjourn today's meeting, and it has been seconded. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Thank you, Senator Cabo. Today's committee meeting is hereby adjourned at 11:38 a.m. Thank you.